Okay guys, so today I have a very short video for you on Delta of Invitation in Alliance Insight format. I think this is actually one of the strongest packages that you can play either side of the dice roll with very little main and extra deck commitment. It is the only way to have an actually good combo reliably that gives you a play around Droll and Lockbird. This is very important, not just because we typically use the Droll, but in the Alliance Insight format, we have a very, very different game plan that revolves around resolving Diabel's the White Witch and getting Adjudicator on the field. This gives us plays around cards like Foolos and Perulia, which before have been a lot harder to play around, or people say that they have plays around it, but really the board is super underwhelming. But with these cards, the main fare is Droll. So if we have a way to get to an Omni Negate before Droll is live, that's great. The combo that I'm going to show you also is a nib check, and if they don't have either of those two cards because it is an Omni, and they know that it's coming, or even if they don't and they're just unsure, they may use cards like Imperm or Veiler, which then makes it easier for you to resolve the rest of your engine. So I'll show you the basic combo and give you the idea of why you want to play it. This is not a deck profile. I'll be doing my actual deck theory and profiles later in 2 weeks when I'm back to making regular content. Okay, so let me show you the line really quick. This requires that you have opened Delta of Invitation and any spell and trap card. It does not matter what it is. So Delta of Invitation, how this card works is when it's activated, you can send a level 5 or higher zombie monster from your deck to the grave. Then the following effects are once per turn. So if you have a zombie monster on the field, then you can summon a token, which is a zombie. That's all that matters. Also, if a monster is added from the grave to the hand while this is in the graveyard, you can add it to your hand. So not only will this trigger off of Lord adding itself back from the grave, but also in your standard resource loop, in your opponent's turn, when you add LZ back, this will also add itself back to your hand. So this is a solid card for your resource economy. So we're going to activate Delta, and when we activate it, we're going to send our Lord to the graveyard. Because Lord is in the graveyard, we want to summon him, so we have to send a spell or trap we control to the graveyard to get him onto the field. Because we've sent Tails, that will reset itself, but this doesn't matter. This can be any totally blank card. It's just that if you're playing something that you want in the grave, like a Black Goat, or you don't lose, some White Forest card, then it's useful to remember that. So now that you have a zombie on field and you have Delta, you can summon a token. The important thing here is to turn your Golden Lord into Fallen Angel of the Golden Land. So this also comes out in Alliance Insight, and it's basically a Link 1. So you can special summon it by tributing a light zombie monster while you have Lord on the field or in your graveyard. The most important thing about this card is if it is sent from the field to the grave, such as by Link summoning it, which we'll do in a second, you can special summon an Eldritch monster from your deck, extra deck, or graveyard. So the main condition for this combo to work, as you'll see here when you link into Flying Mary, is that you either have a second Lord in your deck, or you have the Mad Golden Lord fusion monster in your extra deck, because Fallen Angel can also summon that out. And the reason for that is that Flying Mary special summons from your graveyard or banishment. So you need to have a second Lord in deck for Fallen Angel to bring out, or the fusion monster in your extra deck. Which you choose to play is based on if you have the flex spot in your extra deck, or if you want to play a second Lord. This card is pretty useful on its own. So this one basically places itself as a continuous spell by special summoning your Lord from grave or banishment, and then it has another effect where if it is while it's a continuous spell placed by its own effect, you can target a level 5 or higher zombie monster you control, which will be Lord, destroy a monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to that monster. So in simplified game states, this is pretty strong because it helps you break down your opponent's board, and it stays as a continuous spell resource on field for your White Forest stuff. But here we're just going to place it to special summon our Lord, and now we have 2 level 10s on field. So this is the nib check. If they don't nib here, then you're going to make Varudras, and this is where the end of the combo is. So you have Delta and you have Flying Mary as cards on field. Delta, you don't want to keep here because you're going to get it back for free out of turn when your LZ adds itself back, or later when your Lord adds itself back. And also you were probably or maybe going to use the White Forest field spell anyhow, so it would be a waste if you don't send this off of some White Forest effect. And the Flying Mary you can obviously use for free, or if you think that the game is going to be a grind, you can leave it if you think that Lord will come back to the field at some point and you'll be able to get a pop off of this. So that's the basic idea behind the combo. I'm not going to show gameplay right now, but if you open White Forest engine as well, you can do lots of other types of things once you have your Omni Negate on field. So I'll just quickly run through this. So if you go for the Fallen Angel, Flying Mary, you bring out your 2 level 10s, and then you go for the Varudras play. Just with these 2 cards on field, you get to start playing. So like an LZ will send a Delta, get your Sylvie for the basic ladder, adding your Tails because you didn't have it. Arciela send Tails for Azamina LZ. I'm showing this actually without the Azamina stuff, just to show you that you can make decent boards without those cards, so that's why I'm adding Subversion here. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to play Azamina, I'm just showing you that you can do this. So now you can Tails and go for Diabels, which is really the important part of this deck. You can send the Flying Mary because it's treated as a spell right now. That dumps Curse. Curse gives you Filius, and then Filius can give you Adjudicator. And this is really the point of the deck, is to resolve this card, Diabels into Adjudicator. At this point, you can do pretty much anything you want, but if you start with an execute in your turn, then when your opponent goes to play and you resolve the Adjudicator, you can also do stuff like go into a Crimson Dragon to go into a Cosmic Blazar. And then just remember that, when you do stuff like you summon out your Sylvie or you resolve your Diabel to bring out Silvera or whatever, and you add the Elzat to your hand, that will also trigger the Delta, and the Delta comes back to your hand. So the Resource Loop is pretty strong. It's doesn't really force you to go out of your way to do any of this. The main thing is that you have to play at least one Lord in your main deck, possibly two, if you don't want to play the Fallen Angel card, and the Mad Golden Lord card, which is this one. And that's basically the idea. If you have any suggestions, let me know, and I'll be showing more gameplay later on. Thanks for watching.